Hey there, it is day 5 of NaNoWriMo. I have reached 8,433 words. It is a very rough draft. Some of those words I can't tell what they are because they are misspelled, but I'm just going with it because the point is to write as fast and get as much out of a crappy first draft as you can. So this is a done is beautiful kind of situation and not perfection, because that's what editing is for, and it feels good. And I was writing about lighting, a little bit about my history, like who the hell am I kind of thing, and my history, and I was writing a little bit about my early experience of studying theater design at Tisch School of the Arts at NYU. I moved to New York when I was 18. I did a combined bachelor's and master's of fine arts. And I was writing about my experience studying lighting design. I started out as a costume designer, and I was in a program that was 3 years for graduate students, but I was there for 5. And somehow I talked my way into the lighting design class for lighting majors. There was one for non-majors, and costume designers didn't really take it. And I learned so much. And I was just looking up my professor, John Gleason, who has passed away 19 years ago. And the New York Times article mentioned and talked about that he was a pioneer of using color in lighting in theater and Broadway. And I realized how much he influenced me on learning about and understanding color. Color is such a powerful tool, and I have since, grown a lot in my use and understanding of color, but also in lighting. Lighting, I love lighting because for me, lighting is painting with emotion. It helps tell a story, in a play. You have the practical stuff where a character walks into a room and turns on a light, it's a light cue, and that light lights up, and then there's usually more lights that help illuminate them than just that light. But there's also the colors, and even, how harsh or soft the light is. Is it a hard shadow? Is it a soft shadow? And that, really looking at the quality of our lighting in our homes can really help set a mood. Mood lighting, right? Mood lighting. I find I actually have a little alarm that goes off at 7:30 also, because it helps me remember, like, hey, this is because I can get all kinds of distracted. Hey, it's time to start getting ready for bed. And this is when I start turning down the lights to help us start calming down and bringing our energy down. And I think it even helps our animals start to calm down. And I have kind of a ritual then at night. It starts to get darker. And when my daughter was little, she had a very hard time sleeping. Getting to sleep at night took a lot. So every night at 6 o'clock, I started closing all the blinds, all the curtains. She had blackout curtains in her bedroom. And so there was just also a consistency in our schedule, because sometimes, when it's still light out at 9 o'clock at night, trying to get a 2-year-old to sleep was not so easy. But it can be the same thing, not just for a 2-year-old, but for a 52-year-old, a 22-year-old, an 82-year-old. So helping your lighting in your home set the stage. When you need more energy, put more lights on. Open the curtains. I find also that the blinds and the curtains in my home, it's a ritual for me that I go through my home every morning and I open the blinds, and it takes me a couple of minutes. We have a lot of blinds and windows in our house, and there's just that intention that I bring to my home, to saying good morning to my home, of welcoming the world in and welcoming myself out into the world as I open up the blinds and the curtains. And at the end of the day, I go through and, shut everything, and that sense of being out in the world and being open to the world. And then it starts to just pull it all back in and become more centered and inward at night. And that I do with lighting as well. So, and as you can see, I love my lighting. And this is, I'm often telling people, these are just little strand of lights, and this is a netting. That's that little IKEA netting. I think now it's maybe $5.99. When I got it, it was $4.99. And honestly, it's on the cheapest little curtain rod up across the ceiling. And that's it. And that was it. This kind of netting gives a beautiful buffer, what we call scrim. Yeah, so lighting can be so powerful in our homes. And also, I was writing also about when I was single in my 20s and feeling vulnerable, coming home alone when I first lived alone, and I had my lights on a timer. So now you can do it with an app and the light bulbs and all that. I haven't gotten into that yet, but even just a simple timer and having the lights on when I get home and knowing they won't go off at a certain time, they were always on, like there's always a sense of somebody home, and who knows, if somebody saw the lights go on, somebody's more likely to be home, right? So it's a safety thing as well. And I know that's really obvious, but maybe somebody just needed to hear that today. So just thinking about the quality of your lighting, and also warm lights, cool lights, a cool light bulb. Sometimes you'll see bulbs now will say like cool lights. So that's has more of a bluish tinge to it. And a warm light obviously has more of a yellowish tone to it. So, you know, maybe you have a preference. I know now we're going with LEDs, but there was a time that there was a lot of fluorescence and a lot of incandescence, and I loved, they used to make these full spectrum light bulbs that were great because they had like more, they were closer to sunlight, the actual rays of the sun's light. So I'm just going to invite you to look through your home and just see where might you need to beef up your lighting. Maybe a room is feeling a little down and maybe you just need a brighter light bulb. Or maybe it's too intense and you're feeling a little overstimulated and you need to either get a light on a dimmer or a three-way light or something fancy with an app, or just a dimmer light bulb. So just think of this awareness of that lighting is very emotional and it helps us tell the story of our lives. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again.